Well, new emails show that Border Patrol agents warned that the Del Rio area was vulnerable and could be overwhelmed months before the border town became the center of the new border crisis. But despite those warnings, officials say preparations for the surge in migrant crossings only started when the large group started crossing into the U.S. this week. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is facing criticism over its response to the crisis from both sides of the aisle.
I urge President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas to immediately put a stop to these expulsions. A horrible treatment of these innocent people who have come to the border must stop immediately.
That's Senate Majority Leader Democrat Chuck Schumer in New York. And as of this morning, at least 6,000 migrants remained in Del Rio, and officials say many will be allowed to stay in the U.S. Kenneth Moten is on the scene there with the latest. Hi, Kenneth.
Terry and Kira, we're outside of City Hall here in Del Rio. We just got updated numbers from the mayor about how many Haitian migrants are still under the Del Rio International Bridge. It is now roughly 6,000 migrants. Over the weekend, that number was around 14,000, so you can see just how much they've come down. But 6,000 people, think about that. There are 6,000 men, women, and children still under that bridge. The temperatures have come down just a touch here in Del Rio, but it is still hot. There are still families living in deplorable conditions in that encampment as the Department of Homeland Security works to process all of those migrants who have come over and made the treacherous path from Mexico into the U.S. here in Del Rio. And here's what we know more about the numbers. Not much, because DHS hasn't given us specific numbers. In fact, it was the Homeland Security Secretary who was pressed on Capitol Hill about specific numbers about how many apprehensions here on the southern border, how many people have been taken into custody here, how many people have been processed here in Del Rio. And at this point, the secretary not providing that information, saying that he wanted to give the correct numbers, not ballpark numbers, to lawmakers. And so at this point, we don't know exactly who has remained, how many have remained here in the U.S., and how many are being sent back to their home countries. We know that the Biden administration is working on ramping up those mass deportation flights, but at this point, we know they're happening. We know the Biden administration is ramping up those mass deportation flights, but at this point, yes, we do not know exactly how many migrants have been sent back to their home countries, and again, or how many are here in the U.S. We do know that the process is playing out, that those migrants need to have a sponsor. They need to have a family connection as they seek asylum here in the U.S. And so we are seeing migrants, Haitian migrants, in El Paso, in Tucson, Arizona, in Houston right now, in facilities as that process plays out. But that is the latest here in Del Rio. Terry, Kira, back to you.
All right, Kenneth Moten in Del Rio, Texas. Thanks very much for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.